Hi, I'm Louisa Sijabat, a liquidator and bankruptcy trustee. One of the questions I'm commonly asked is, what is the process for putting my company into liquidation? The process itself, mechanically, is actually quite simple. The liquidator that you're speaking with will typically give you a pack of documents with all of the documents that need to be signed in order for the company to be put into liquidation. Typically, this will include some template minutes of meetings. So the directors of the company will convene a meeting of the shareholders or members of the company. And at the meeting of the members and shareholders of the company, those members and shareholders will typically decide to put the company into liquidation and choose which liquidator will be appointed. So mechanically, that's it. At that point, the company's in liquidation. At the time of liquidation, the liquidator will also typically ask the directors for some information about the company, usually financial information about the assets and liabilities of the company, as well as some non-financial information, such as where the trading premises of the company are located and who the customers are, if there are any active jobs, and other type of operational type information typically. However, one of the important things in my point of view is what conversations have happened before the liquidation. Has the liquidator spoken with you, or have you asked the liquidator what's going to be happening through the liquidation, both as a process, as well as what will happen specifically with the specific assets and debts of the company? For example, if there are debtors of the company, that is, money that is owed to the company, is that going to be collected? How could it be pursued? How could it best be pursued? And if there's plant and equipment, for example, what's going to happen with that? Does the liquidator plan to sell it to, say, someone else in the industry? Do they plan to put it up for auction? Or what do they plan to do with it? Are they looking to sell the business as a whole, or just sell off the assets? These are important things which, in my opinion, a good liquidator will ask the directors of the company what their opinion is, because the directors of the company, in my view, will know what's been happening in the business much more than a liquidator who's just coming on board will have knowledge of. And a good liquidator, in my opinion, should take that information and formulate the strategy for the liquidation, including and giving consideration to that information. Also, I think a liquidator should explain what will be happening with the debts of the company. What happens to amounts that the company owes to employees for super, or wages, or annual leave, or long service leave? What happens with redundancy pay? What happens to debts that are secured, for example, financed motor vehicles? What happens to trade supplies and tax debts? So, in my opinion, have a speak to a few liquidators and find one that you feel comfortable talking to, one that you feel answers all of your questions and provides you good information without making you feel silly or pressured into a course of action that you disagree with. I also highly recommend finding a liquidator who will listen to you, who will listen to what's happening in the company and take that information and use it in the plan for the liquidation.